We're back. We're back. It was about 3 hours ago that we went off the air, right at the start of the Xfinity race, but we are back to cover said Xfinity race. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I will let you decide. I did promise Carl Singleton in the last stream. I was heading off. I wanted to say bye to my parents before I left. I'm not going to see them for a month, so I wanted to make sure I had time to be able to say goodbye properly to them. But I promised Carl Singleton I would make this a poll in the Xfinity stream. I'll kind of do a play on it. Who will be the GOAT Gen Z driver? We'll talk about all the Xfinity stuff, I promise. I also promised after that super chat that I would make this a poll for you guys, so there's at least something fun to go through. Gen Z is 97 on, so I figured I'd get the ones who have been the most successful in the top 3 series and hold a poll. I already know who's going to win, but why the hell not? Let's just have some fun with it. So here you go. Who will be the GOAT Gen Z driver? And while you were voting on that, if you're new, subscribe. We're only 21 away from 72.8K, so that's pretty cool. But the big thing is the race itself. We are in Tuesday on the East Coast, so I appreciate you guys coming on in. All 250 of you, it says on my end, for this post-race review of the 2024 United Rentals 300. This race was 120 laps long, 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 27 seconds, 19 lead changes among 14 drivers, and 9 cautions, though some may argue there should have been a 10th caution. Austin Hill, once more your winner with a margin of victory of 0.591 seconds, basically 0.6 of a second win. And that is astronomically huge at Daytona, but basically when only the top 2 are left in the front pack, that's what happens. So let's get into it. Per NASCAR.com, Austin Hill the winner over Sheldon Creed, who I'm pretty sure most wanted to win with Andy Petrie being in the booth. Though, all jokes aside, I think Andy Petrie actually was really, really good in the booth and really helped, especially kept the Mikeyisms down, which I am completely fine with. We'll read those super chats in a moment after we get through this. The finishing order of it, Parker Retzlaff finishes 3rd, so they've just updated the finishing order again, which means, yay, on-air production meeting. I get to change it live. We'll do it live. But Parker Retzlaff with a 3rd place finish. Then you got Jordan Anderson currently with a 4th place finish on the day. Chandler Smith in 5th. 6th is Riley Herbst. 7th, John Hunter Nemechek. 8th, Justin Allgaier. Brandon Jones in 9th. 10th is A.J. Allmendinger. Ryan Ellis in 11th. SVG had a very topsy-turvy day. He will come home in the 12th position. Cole Custer comes home 13th. After that, you have Blaine Perkins and BJ McLeod, while not making the Cup race, the Daytona 500, will make the Xfinity race with a 15th place finish now. Garrett Smithley gets a 16th place run, followed in 17th by Patrick Emmerling, and 18th, a pretty solid run, led 7 laps. Natalie Decker gets an 18th place finish on the night. Then Brennan Poole in the 19th spot. 20th goes to Jesse Love. 21st, Ryan Truex. After Ryan Truex, they've updated it a little bit more. It's Ryan Sieg. Then Sammy Smith, your last lead lap driver. Anthony Alfredo will come home 2 laps down in 24th. 25th, Parker Kligerman, 2 laps down, and 2 laps down as well for Jeb Burton. Daniel Dye, last driver on track, 27th position, 3 laps down, and everybody else from this point on is out. 28th, Sage Karam. 29th, Jeremy Clements. Leland Honeyman in 30th. Cram in 31st. Balicki 32nd. Frankie Muniz was not in the middle of much today because he finished 33rd out of the race. Josh Williams out at 34th. 35th, Daniel Suarez. Sam Mayer, 36th. Haley Deegan, 37th. And Kyle Weatherman last, 38th on the day. So, by the way, click that like button. Let's get over 100 likes. I think I have the fully updated finishing order up top for the 2024 United Rentals 300. And with that, Speed Weeks 2024 is over. And while I think we had a pretty good Daytona 500 from my liking, this race turned into a wreck fest. It turned into it from the start, and while not as bad in any way as Truck or ARCA, it definitely was not to the level of the duels or even the 500, which it shouldn't. I mean, it's the Daytona 500, the Cup guys. Yeah, long stage 2. We'll get into the details momentarily, but I kind of want to know what you guys think, because I'm going to end this poll. I'm shocking William Byron won it, but I want to ask you guys, what do you think? What did you think of the Xfinity race? Because I thought when they were racing, it was fine. The problem was they started more wrecking than racing. And then it got less fun. By the way, 13 likes away from 100. Let's get to that 100 century mark on it. So I guess I'll put great, good, meh, and didn't like it. I'll admit I'm a little biased. My pick to win won this one. It was the only race that any of my picks ran well in, because it's the most surefire pick. And I'm probably going to be last in NWP points. So, hey, at least I'll have that running for me. I can go with Hill again next week. But I thought it was generally good. It's just you had way too many wrecks during it. And that's where I started running into issues when it came, like, to be honest, if this was Saturday night and it was not 11:07 Central Time and Tuesday on the East Coast, I would probably not be like, just finish the damn race. But kind of where I am now. But 800 miles of racing. Funny enough, no green, white checkers today, which I was almost sure that we were going to see. But yeah, that we managed to get through. I mean, granted, I think NASCAR just wanted to end the thing freaking quicker than they would have otherwise, but that's just me on it. CBB for 5, by the way. I'm going to get through some of these super chats real quick. I'm glad the Cup race was great. The rest of the races sucked. Not for nothing, Herbst had the Xfinity race in the bag before the laying back penalty, which, again, very ticky-tacky on that. I don't know how I feel about that, because if he's supposed to be behind the leader, as he was saying, then he would have to lay back to be behind them in the restart zone unless the leader was laying back. So it's just very gray area rules with it. I mean, a rule is a rule, so I get that, but and I guarantee nobody's going to come to Herbst's defense because he's not like a popular driver, but very ticky-tacky. Twin spinner for 2. Sheldon Creed finds another new way to lose. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that everybody was rooting for Sheldon Creed at the end of this race just because of just because you had Petrie in the booth. I'm sorry, it's been a long-ass day. I've been up like 18 hours. And Hill leading and the drama from last year at Martinsville. So I guarantee you that people were rooting for Creed. But yeah, just it never falls in place for him, man. Yeah, 18 hours. Give or take. Maybe 16. I got up early today. Worked out. Bryce Sizemore, thank you for the 5. I can't keep defending Deegan if she keeps on messing up like this, but it was a really good race tonight. Also, Austin Hill replaces Dillon. If Austin Dillon is to go up into the executive role and try to fix RCR like he talks about doing and like he probably should, I'd say that's a guarantee. But the problem is I don't think Austin Dillon wants to do that. I think he wants to be out there. He wants the best of both worlds. He helped bring Kyle Busch in. That's the best thing that's happened to RCR since re-signing Harvick in 2010. I would put Hill up there. I think Hill is a much better driver and is a very talented driver. I don't know if he's talented enough to get past their mediocre equipment and Cup, but I would put him up there. But that's the problem. I don't think Dylan does. As for Deegan, I mean, Deegan kind of got collected in somebody else's wreck and didn't really get a shot today. So I don't want to be overboard on her. Plus, it's a super speedway. You really think I'm judging how Hill, Creed, Jordan Anderson will all be, Retzlaff, guys in the top 4. I mean, way different. And then, yeah, SVG would get a 12th place finish, but you can't really judge that, with a super speedway. So that's just me, at least with that. But as for the race itself, going to stage 1, of course, the pole sitter before it got rained out to Monday night after the Daytona 500 is Jesse Love. Did pretty good when he was up front, ran well. So, at least at the super speedways, you expect an RCR driver to run up front in the Xfinity series, and he did so for a lot of the night. There was a lot of train racing early until they went into commercial, and then all of a sudden, just all hell broke loose. The first real big incident comes on lap 23. Daniel Suarez, I think he got turned getting out of the throttle, just, draft games, and a no good, very bad, awful Sunday going into Monday afternoon, more just Monday. Keep forgetting it feels like Sunday. Monday afternoon just concludes with him again crashed 2 races in a row. He actually finished worse in this race than he did the Cup race. But it collected Sam Mayer, Haley Deegan, Kyle Weatherman. And up front on the restart, you had the 21 of Hill as well as the 2 of Love. Love beating Hill in the first stage by 7 1,000ths of a second. I'm guaranteeing a lot of us wish we had that margin of victory tonight. Then after those 2 RCR teammates, we had Parker Kligerman, Anthony Alfredo, Jeb Burton, Sheldon Creed, John Hunter Nemechek, AJ Allmendinger, Justin Allgaier, and Ryan Truex. And that was stage 1. I look in the chat right now, seeing Austin H450 saying Josh Williams is your pick for Atlanta. That would be a hell of a story. And I am so rooting for it, man. So rooting for it. By the way, remember, we got a double header, truck and Xfinity for Atlanta next Saturday, or this Saturday, I should say. 5 days. We'll be live for both of them. So definitely come on along and subscribe if you're new. I mean, you see, we're staying up till the crack ass of dawn, making sure that we talk about each race and go in depth on them. And thank you to Austin, by the way, for the $1.99 super chat. Did they ever say anything about Sam Mayer? I mean, he crashed, but there wasn't. I don't think there's really too much to say. He just got collected. I will say the Xfinity broadcast, and I get bad circumstances, very similar to the class circumstances, but it was noticeably down in quality and angles, direction, all of it. Commentary, of course, when you're going against a revitalized Mike Joy, it's very difficult. But Adam Alexander was uncharacteristically off for his standards. Mikey is Mikey. Andy Petrie was kind of the glue that kept that very loose booth together. Not the greatest outlook if you're looking for the Fox portion of the Xfinity side of things. I see dislike in the chat saying that Natalie outperformed Haley. Yeah. I would not be surprised if Haley Deegan does not lead as many laps as Natalie Decker led tonight. That's maybe I'll lead off with that as my prediction. I don't know. You'll find out on Wednesday on BFM's channel. Yeah, and Ryan, I get, I do worry about Fox when Mike Joy goes, just he is that ever, central presence. But I do think Adam Alexander is much better than he showed tonight. And especially when he has good talent around him, too. He has absolutely no Mike Joy. He is not now in Bestwick. But I think he's when you look at those A-plus commentators, I think Adam Alexander is a B-plus commentator, and I think he has room to grow. But I do think they'll probably find somebody else because I think he'll probably get picked up by Amazon or TNT. He worked for TNT. He was part of the TNT broadcast back when Turner was at the end of their last deal with NASCAR. He was I believe, the lead commentator from 2010 to 2014, and then Ralph Shaheen had 3 races in between the Adam Alexander era and the Bill Weber era. Because Bill Weber is a character and was a magician. But let's get to stage 2. The restart. It is Allgaier versus Allmendinger. Lots of alls. And the big one strikes. You got the 20, the 21, 97, 2, 16, 48, 8, 35, 10, and 11. A lot of good cars either taken out or heavily damaged in this accident. And, well, unfortunately, like I said, a lot of good guys. You know, Williams taken out in that. Frankie Muniz was taken out in that. We got our one Frankie Muniz, Malcolm in the Middle joke. And again, this is just, again, setting the tone for the night. Yeah, Noah Coleman waiting for scoring. Yeah, you go back to any Turner broadcast with NBC or just Turner on its own from like 2004 when he was in the booth. So 2005 full-time through 2009 New Hampshire, I want to say. Was it New Hampshire? Or was it Sonoma? Either way, the amount of times Bill Weber says waiting for scoring is amazing. He said it in the same fucking cadence every time. Sorry, it's late. We're doing Iceberg After Dark on this one. I won't go too overboard for you. But as for the Xfinity race, it's just the second stage. It was restart, caution, restart, caution, restart, caution, restart, caution. You had another restart. The SHR cars go up front, and then the 7 spins has a flat tire. Smithley spins as well. They miss half of it because another restart. Bunch of shuffling, crash, John Hunter Nemechek, Josh Bilicki, and Dawson Cram. Restart again, bunch of 3-wide racing at this point. This is late in the stage, and you end up at this point with Austin Hill winning stage 2 in what I saw one of you in the chat call the Austin Hill 300, because this is what this race has become. But he wins stage 2 over Sammy Smith, Sheldon Creed, Cole Custer, and Ryan Sieg, with Ryan Truex behind him in 6th. 7th is Herbst, then Allgaier, AJ, and Brandon Jones, the top 10. I am going to grab a water really quick. All right, it's been really quick. We get to the final stage. Listen, I want to get to the final stage because I think that's where like all the fun is at it. Final stage here. You get Hill having issues on pit road, speeding in the pits, very fast, sliding through, bunch of problems. He goes to the rear. Not the last time he'll do that tonight. You have the restart between the 2 and the 8, and Smith gets to the lead. Green flag stops begin about 10 laps later. And at this point, you're starting to see just little bits here and there, like a Bonanza getting in. And 3 drivers stay out. Natalie Decker, Ryan Ellis, and Garrett Smithley. Decker leading 7 laps for, I believe, Ellis would take over the lead. And it worked out really well for them. They stayed out there on their own. Yeah, running a little bit lower than the main pack behind them. It was running for 4th on the track. But still ran pretty well until 24 laps to go, where Jeb Burton would spin off of Shane Van Gisbergen, and Shane would also slide and save his car through the grass as well. That was totally on SVG. And I believe he gets into Jeb later, like crashes into the back of his car later. At the same time, Austin Hill has a flat tire, so he has to pit with 18 to go on the restart. He is all the way in the back and has to charge his ass right back to the front. And before we talk about that, I am drinking that water because I have been talking a lot today, man, and I talk a lot. It does a number. Okay. There is another caution, another wreck. Funniest part of it is Adam Alexander going, and we have a caution for debris. And you see just half the damn pack missing. And then Fox cuts to like the ending footage of a crash. It's like, dude, come on. Like, that's what I was talking about. Like, it was not up to the standard that Adam Alexander, I'm used to him having. Not very good whatsoever. It was funny, though. And I guarantee you it's going to end up on compilations of like announcer fails or something. Because, I mean, come on, man. Like, they don't have a single camera showing the whole pack. Like, we didn't have a single camera showing the entire goddamn pack. Not one. You know, we couldn't find one. That's the thing, man. It's like it's not one thing when we're upset about the lower series coverage on Fox. It's like it's many things that just mesh together in a bad way. Or maybe don't mesh together. Maybe it's like a knife through butter at that point. Just it does not fit, does not stay together. So from there, we go to a restart with 11 to go. We have 39 and the 98 restarting beside each other. We talked about this a moment ago. Herbst gets penalized for a restart violation, laying back. They're 3 wide throughout the pack. And another one that's a big-ass one ensues. And with that, saves Riley Herbst. Collects Allgaier, as well as 44, 00, 26, 8, 16, the 10. The 10 of Daniel Dye was stuck in the mud. And then from there, had to get a tow truck to get him out. And then the tow truck needed help getting out because the mud was so viscous. I don't know what the right word is for mud. But the tow truck needed a tow truck so that the tow truck initially that was there could tow out Daniel Dye. The 44 had almost blown over also in that crash as well. We were so close to another blowover in this race. And the caution, because of the tow truck drama, just kept getting extended. Lap after lap after lap. We get a restart with 3 to go. Jordan Anderson, Chandler Smith on the front row, right ahead of Hill. And we all knew where this is going. You know, Chandler takes the lead, gets a really good lead in the bottom, and then they don't do anything with it. Because Anderson is getting this huge push from Austin Hill, and you'd think somebody would just jump up ahead of it. You know, even if they pass you, at least make an attempt. But pushes Anderson out with 2 to go. He is, Austin Hill, that is in the lead, passing Jordan Anderson. He takes the white flag ahead of Creed. And as they're on the backstretch, staring at Creed's car in the back camera, you see, I believe, Ryan Sieg spin into the pack. And they don't throw a caution for a really big wreck, which I'm okay with. You know, it's not like it's at the finish line like the 500 where a bunch of debris is going to be there right at the end. There's danger for the cars, fans, whatever, you know, whatever excuse NASCAR wants to put out for that. You know, it's on the back stretch. They'll be rolling. It's a mile away, mile and a half probably away from the finish line, whatever it might be. I don't get why there wouldn't be a caution. I think any other circumstance, NASCAR throws a caution, but I'm just going to go on the human level here. I don't think NASCAR's officials and NASCAR wanted to stay any longer than they had to. Like, the quicker we can get this damn race done, the better, I think, is their mentality for it. And that's exactly what they did. They ended it as quickly as they could. They had, like, the little post-race interview, got the broadcast done, and immediately went to showing the Daytona 500 over again. Austin Hill gets the win, his 3rd straight in this race. And I don't know, I was right. I'm glad I got the pick right for the win, but it's just, what are we doing? You know, I'm looking at the poll right here, and I'll end the poll now on what you thought of the Xfinity race. If it'll pop back up with the results, but I believe 52% of you said it was a good race, and I think overall, I thought it was a pretty good race, you know, when they weren't wrecking. But that was the problem. There was a lot of wrecking, and I guess we just lost the results. They're not showing up now. But the problem is there were so many crashes in this race. And then you had the same problem in the ARCA race. You had it in the truck race. And it's just, it's old. Yeah, 51% of you said it was a good race. 30% of you said, probably on the tier that I'm on. 14% of you said it was great. And 3% of you didn't like it. I can't say I was bad, you know, low enough to say I didn't like it, but it's just too many crashes. And at the lower series, you expect that. But I can't blame people who just got annoyed with it. Like, I can't, you know. This wasn't to the threshold that I had for the truck race. I did want to bring it up because I brought it up on Friday night when we did the post race for trucks. This Xfinity race was only 13 minutes longer than the truck race. Truck race felt a lot longer. It was much better than trucks and ARCA. I agree. I fully agree with you on that. So, man, I'm not gonna like go into the wild rant mode of trucks. The last two truck races, like Truck Series, has a real problem. This felt like an Xfinity race at a super speedway. There's gonna be talk about it, and I think there'll be talk about etiquette and all that other stuff. We're going to Atlanta, so we're just dealing with the same thing. Which, funny enough, I was looking on social media, and when it comes to at least the truck race for Atlanta, it's looking like they're having trouble with car count. Which, who could have saw that coming with 2 super speedways in a row with the series on a shoestring budget? Saying. And then they got to drive out to Las Vegas. But at least they get a week off after that. So that's about what I got with it. I appreciate y'all coming out and staying out with me. I saw at one point over 330 of you guys in here. Damn. You guys are awesome. And Napa Racing Fan 927 for the 5. Alexander, great call at the end. Creed does it again, then corrects Hill. Can't top. Kane wins, and a huge crash behind him in Charlotte trucks, though. Yeah, that's right. He had that bad call, too. I don't know if he just was tired. I mean, probably tell by me, I'm a little tired. So understanding, I guess, but that's egregious, man. That's egregious. I noticed that, and I don't know why I didn't bring it up right away. Just a very sloppy night. But at least the Daytona 500, in my opinion, was pretty good. I know a lot of people didn't like it because of the finish, but we were 8.5 laps away. We're 8.5 laps away from perfection, from getting 30 cars on the lead lap to the finish without crashing. We were so close. So close. I see Max in the chat. Greetings from Germany. It's 6:27 here. Worth the night shift, though. Yeah. Man, I salute you. I give you credit, man. I give anyone credit that's not in the States and is like has to sift through to find it or stay up late. Like, I give you guys credit. NASCAR fans around the world are so damn loyal and good, and that's awesome. That's some awesome stuff. Like 6:27. I'm assuming that's 6:27 a.m. for you. Yeah, 6:27 going to 6:28 a.m. Well, I got a 3-mile run to do tonight to just finish off the day, and then I am going straight to bed. I don't even feel bad saying that. As a Canadian, I'm lucky the race is 3 hours ahead, so it's only 9:30 for you. Yeah, you guys are like close to the West Coast, man. Kind of got it lucky today. Like, not gonna lie, like, you get a reasonable time for everything to start and finish. By the way, I want to thank Michael Kelly Gilliam for the 5 gifted memberships as well. Appreciate it a ton, and I'm sure the 5 are gifted to it. Like it. 3 miles, yes, 3 miles. I got a treadmill at a gym at my place here. So 2:28 in Argentina. Woo. Man, Alessandro Jarrett, besides Kansas, what other cup races will you be attending in 2024? Probably Nashville. Maybe Daytona in August. Not sure just yet. I don't know. I'm just kind of playing it by ear. I'm winging the year. Like, the last couple years, I have like had everything like meticulously planned from the start. I'm just winging it, man. Just winging it. Maybe I'll go to Bristol night. Although it depends, because Danny told me if the Vikings and Titans game is that week, we'll go. And if I'm off, like, there's no cup race on the Sunday they play, that will go. So I might, I don't know. It's like one of the few games the Vikings might win this year. That's difficult. That's difficult for me to say. Like, I'm basically, if there's anything really cool popping up or I'm able to do something cool at a racetrack, I'll be going to it. For all you know, I might go to the Spring Kansas race. It was pretty fun last year. I was like 10 feet away from Noah Gragson getting punched in the face. So, am I attending IndyCar at National Super Speedway? No, I am not. I'm busy that day. I might be at the Brickyard. I'll let you guys know that in advance. I might be at the Brickyard. I do. Let me look at my July calendar. I'll give you guys the update now. You guys have stuck around this long. I owe it to you. The only issue with that is the very next week I'm going up to Pennsylvania to run a marathon, so can't travel too much. I don't know if you tell, I'm tired. I've been on the move all day long. I was supposed to go to Phoenix in 2021, but plans fell through on that one. Like, my flight got canceled, and they wanted me to buy a new one last minute instead of rebooking, and it just didn't work. But I'll get out there one day. Happy Daytona Day for those who are still on February 19th. But I think that about covers it. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We will be doing our post-race streams after Atlanta Trucks and Xfinity this Saturday coming up, and next Sunday, which is for some of you 5 days away, we will be doing post-race for Cup. Looks like the weather is really good for Atlanta, so good stuff to see there. And NASCAR Weekly Podcast is this Wednesday on Black Flags Matters channel. Going to be a lot of fun. I want to see you guys out there. I think that covers it. So thank you guys so much for coming out. You guys have a great night or morning wherever you are. And I'm going to go run and then sleep. And I don't know, maybe not even in that order. But thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it. And you have a good night. Later.